Imagine it says the thing. Hi, I'm Leathur Rokk. How you doing? I wanted to talk to you about my night tonight. It was a pretty good one. If you just want to talk about finances, it wasn't as good as last night, but there's a lot of ways to call a night a good night. A night without any police intervention, that's also a good night. Um, Show you some other ways it's a good night. Well, let me take this hat off because it's hot in here. I turned off the fan so you guys can hear me easier. If there start to get a bunch of ghetto noises outside, I will turn it up some. I'm hot. If you notice something, you will see that guitar string has successfully been taken off, or at least, well, the one that was broken off at the bridge pin, that has been taken off. After I finally finished playing and ran into a friend of mine that I got to smoke some weed with, he tried using the another pair of his toenail clippers and they didn't work. And then he actually untied it and he did a bunch of things. It's very loose fitting now compared to all the other ones. I will let you see how everything feels so tight, but because this doesn't have anything attached to it, it's very loose. But I know it's only loose because it doesn't have a string attached to it. So, yeah, I still don't have a G string for my guitar, but that said, it did not count against me too much tonight. Tonight, I also sang all night, and two main ridiculous songs that I came up with that didn't use a lot of chords that and didn't sound too out of tune, even though the thing sounds terribly out of tune. Uh some things I have to critique about. There was one disturbing. Well, first of all, there was a cool guy who had watched me the day before, and he kind of ended up acting kind of protective of me, and he ended up sitting on a chair in the background up against a railing, kind of about a quarter of a block away, so that in theory, nothing could happen bad that would get past his notice. And he kept on checking up on me, and that feels good when you're out there playing. That you know that some people are looking after you. That's something that I experienced when I played in front of the Ocean Casino. I had a friend who liked to play the sports book there, and he would sit on the chair while I played because security. He when he went in there depended on who was working there. So it's good to have somebody looking after you. Um, Got to put the sign someplace. Get it out of the way. I never did look at the debates. I just literally got home a few minutes ago, and I wanted to go live before I ate. I have waiting for me to put in the toaster oven. The chicken lady made a stop where she, one of many places where she drops off chicken, and it's big, big, big bag, um, like this big of it. And I, I know I don't know how many people already got it, or maybe there was more than one bag, but I brought it in here, and I took some out for myself and for my mother. I put enough for a tray to heat to share with my mom. Then I had this and another container, and then the rest I put um, back. So anyway, I want to put this in the oven, but I wanted to talk to you first. You know how it's good to have things at room temperature when you heat them. Well, one disturbing thing happened to me today, and I'm kind of disappointed at myself that I was not as assertive as I wish I was. There was this guy that was pestering me. He was watching, like hovering from like 10 feet away, still too close. You know, I don't mind if you watch briefly before putting money in, but if you just stand there and stand there and stand there, and I don't know you. If we're friends, it's a different story. Even though if we're friends, you should also know that when I'm out there, I'm working. When I have my guitar and the hat's down. If the hat's down when I have the guitar, that means it's a gig, okay? But this guy stood there and he stood there And I'm trying to ignore him. And he acted like he expected that I would know who he was. And I gotta be careful how I say this. I didn't know him. He reminded me, though, of a certain criminal element. Hi, Amir. And oh, by the way, I just looked for that mask in the other room, but the room there's no light, and I couldn't see, and I felt around in the dark, and I touched the ground, and I'm a germaphobe. I had to wash my hand afterwards, so I can't find that mask. So anyway, this guy was talking to me, and I was telling him that I wasn't interested. He's saying that he got a room up at Tropicana, and he was on his way to the liquor store. And what was I into? Did I like Tina? Which, by the way, if you didn't know, that's a slang word for crystal meth. And I said, no, I don't want any of those things. I'm thinking, go away. He's this ugly gangbanger looking guy. And then he says, I can ruin you. I can make it so that nobody gives you any money. And I'm like, dude, go away. And then it occurred to me, maybe I should act friendly to him, even though I didn't want to. Why should I have to pretend to like somebody I don't? Why should I? That's phony. That's not who I am. But I felt like I had to start being nice to him. So I said, oh, I acted like all of a sudden I realized that I knew him, even though I don't know who he was. And I ended up letting him hug me. And I'm so ashamed. I should have just said, dude, go away. But he wouldn't take no for an answer. And like, if I can't say, no, go away, he would not leave. And when he said that he would create a disturbance and make it so that people wouldn't give me money, and there's lots of ways that you can do that to a person, and I don't know how he purported to do that, but all I know is I was in a public place and he was there, and of course I don't have any way to get people to call the cops, because what are you going to do? Scream, call the cops, call the cops? I've done that before. And one time did somebody ever actually call the law? And it really would probably be a waste of time anyway, because by the time police, you're talking to dispatcher first. And then by the time you actually have a cop that showed up, it would be 20 minutes to a half hour, because they triage them. I know from calling cops when there's things going on here, they take their good old time. And here I am defenseless. And the thing is, the cops are probably thinking a person could just start walking and go on down the boardwalk and be gone anyway. So it's almost like, what's the point? So after I hugged him, he said he was going to the liquor store and he'd be back. I'm thinking, please take your time. And then the guy that was looking after me, watching me, he saw some of that, and he proceeded to scold me, telling me that what did I hug him for? That I didn't have to let anybody touch me without my consent. As if I don't know that. I mean, what woman alive doesn't know that we don't need to consent to all the times that we're grabbed, touched, and worse, that most women endure? Just because somebody doesn't admit to it doesn't mean they haven't endured things. And sometimes though, just to get a person to leave you alone, you put up with things. And I said, man, when I get home, I'm going to get in the shower. I'm going to scrub the sin off. Even though I didn't initiate it or anything, but I still feel really totally disgusted. Oh, yeah. And of course, now it's 4:10 in the morning, and if I turn the water on, it would bother the person whose bedroom is right there. Even though that person doesn't care ever about inconveniencing me or whatever. So why? I don't know why I have that person's feelings consideration. You know. Plus, at least when you're asleep is kind of like when you're not here, and then I feel that I'm welcome in that shower, whatever. So anyway, this guy finally left, and I couldn't play at my usual spot. There was entertainment. There was something going on with the Tony Marts, either the Tony Marts uh, All Stars, or it was the Mardi Gras and the Boardwalk thing or something like that. And he had some members of the band. The band were there. Robbie Robertson died a couple of days ago, and I don't know who all was there. And I can't say that anything was familiar to me, and I can't say that I particularly was crazy about anything that I heard. But I was far enough away that only very faintly in the background, if you really made an effort, could you hear it. So if I'm paying attention to other things, or if I'm paying attention to my playing, I totally don't hear it. So I didn't get the feeling that I missed out at all. And certainly, if you have a chance to see a show or make money, what would you rather do? Unless it was such a spectacular, once in a lifetime thing, or, you know, really. For almost anything, I'd rather get a chance to make money. That's just the way it is. Because all the times when I'm not making money or I'm cheated out of being able to make money, so when I have a chance to earn, I do. And I played until after 10 o'clock, and that guy that was looking after me, he kept on kind of coming up to me, asking me how much longer I was going to be playing. And I told him, I says, you know what? I like to play it by ear. I like to stay it for as long as I think that there's money out there and I'm having fun. If anything happens, if circumstances make things where I don't feel safe, I'm always prone to changing locations as needed. But at one point, I'm going to want to go back toward the stage and check to see if any of my friends are there. Because even though I had that negative experience yesterday with the creepy people, but you got a whole lot of people that are sleeping back there. And of course, I wouldn't go over and disturb a person when you're sleeping. But when I am specifically invited, and did you hear what I said, hon? I found the aura mask on the floor in the grow room. I don't touch things that touch this filthy floor. There's no light on there. I can't see in the dark. I already touched the carpet. Now, I already made an effort. And anyway, I'm talking and now that interrupted my train of thought. And when I get my train of thought interrupted, because my memory it doesn't work so well as it used to, that can totally throw me. So I'll get back to my story. So, anyway, this guy's asking me how late I'm going to be on. I can't give a straight answer. I see. That's why I don't like hanging out with other people. This is why I like to do my own thing. I like to run around by myself, and I don't mind flitting with this group and that group. And I love crowds. Don't get me wrong. I love the energy of crowds. I love big groups of friends. I love big groups of strangers. The friendlier the better, obviously. But the thing with friendships and the thing with friends, being with other people that's a downer is when you have conflicting interests. Or if they're drinking and you're sober, so they're perceiving things totally through a different lens because they're drinking and you're looking and thinking, my God, you've been doing straight shots this whole time. That's a lot. But yeah, I finally had to say, look, I'm going to go look for some of my friends. And and plus I want to do some roach hunting too. And I was thinking, now, should I go about all the way up to Bally's? I was kind of not feeling like going all that way because it's not a big distance, but the more crowded the boardwalk it is, the longer it takes to go there because you're wading through people, and it can be quite crowded and take some time. Like especially if it was in the middle of a concert or something, and you're really wading through people. So, but I'm thinking if I don't, the further I go, the more chance I have of running into my friends, and so much part of being out on a boardwalk is running into your friends. That is what is to me what summer is all about. I mean, yes, it's great when you have a money making component to it, and a lot of summers I never did have a money making component except for okay when I worked at convention hall. Yes, obviously I had a job, but in LA you don't think of summer in the same way that you think of summer here because the seasons are warm pretty much year round. So summer doesn't have the same significance. Maybe if you had a job where you would have that would designate more time off or something. In LA, I think of it as being a showbiz town where there's a film hiatus time where fortunately the stars like to see their families at the same times a year that everybody else does. So they go on vacation. So most of the movie sets shut down. So you have the time that you can go. I could go to LA and I could go here back to New Jersey and I could spend a couple of weeks here. Or especially once I quit flying, when you're taking a bus, you got to allow for the time to actually get here. So once you're here, you want to spend a good long time. So I was taking 6 month vacations, okay? And then you really get into the rhythm of things. And of course, my mother was saying that she really got used to having me around. And when she finally got used to me being around, then I got back on a bus for LA. Yeah, but the LA, at least being a town, how here Atlantic City is largely, I can't say governed by the casino industry, but it's such a big part of how this town supports itself and the employment of its citizens. So they're a big thing here. So, and to, if not the casinos, the service industry as a whole, because this is a seaside resort. Well, Los Angeles, in so many people's eyes, is seen as Tinseltown, showbiz, Hollywood at least, if not Los Angeles. Hollywood is seen as the showbiz capital of the world. And so much of Los Angeles filmmaking dollars support the state of California, and it's so much a part of the U.S. GDP. So showbiz is very important to those people who try to negate the value of what we do. The people that produce art, the people that produce amusements, throughout history, during the Great Depression, people would shell out 15 cents for a double feature or whatever it cost to go to the movies. And it was a bit of a maybe a hardship, but considering what it added to their existence and the joy of going out someplace and getting immersed in a story and having, I don't know if, like, I don't know when air conditioning was invented. So, like, it would make a difference if you've always lived with an unair conditioned place at home. All your places have never been air conditioned. So, it was a real treat to go out in places that had the climate control and stuff. So, I don't know if that was an issue in the 20s and 30s and 40s. I don't know enough of my history, but I do know that the entertainers have provided so much to people in an otherwise drudgery filled existence where you've got your job, which you might not love, you've got housework, which I don't think you love, and you may wish you didn't have to cook because you didn't want to spend the time, but you're hungry and everybody has to eat. And if you have kids, you've got those responsibilities. And even though I'm sure there's joy in those things, there's got to be some parts of it that are not fun. So if you can have other things in your life besides those responsibilities that you have, why not? It really, one of the reasons why I'm not still not back on Facebook, and I've been off all social media except for here since the 1st of May, is because I would hear people talk about how, the essential workers and how Hollywood's not essential, and the trash that we put out in entertainment as a rule, and American entertainment, and we put out this garbage that's eminently disposable and of no real importance. And first of all, it's somebody who puts out that very stuff that so many people think is unimportant. Well, if it's so unimportant, then how come Netflix is a thing? How come we have cable TV? People like my mother spend hours and hours and hours getting immersed in all kinds of TV shows, all kinds of subject matter. How come YouTube is still growing so big that every minute, I don't know how much footage is being uploaded to this platform. There's so many people creating content that's obviously being watched by somebody. So yes, entertainment is a thing. And I don't think people should feel ashamed or feeling that they're not contributing enough because all they do is do showbiz or entertainment. Think of life without the arts. That would be a heck of a life. So I'm proud to be part of it. And I'm glad that if I can brighten people's day and they want to spend some time with me, I think that's great. Uh, Okay, Amir is saying, I really miss you making video or doing live stream while wearing N95 mask again. You look pretty and safe while wearing it. Well, thank you for the compliment on that. I feel safe in my home. And, I know what else I wanted to talk about. I ran into a couple of people and they, again, said that the reason why maybe some girls are mean to me is because they think that they're insecure because they think that I get a lot of male attention and maybe it makes them feel bad or something. I'm not a home wrecker. I have no interest in stealing anybody's man. I don't want your drama. I don't want any of that. I don't want to hurt anybody. That's not where my head's at, you know. And if people are going to be insecure, that's not my responsibility. If there's something about anybody's life that they don't like, if you can change it, change it. But don't try to make other people feel bad about ourselves just because you don't feel good about yourself or you're not secure within your relationship or something. I don't want that kind of relationship drama. I'm glad to be single and not have to worry about the bullshit. All I got to worry about is my mom's health, trying to keep things clean, my YouTube channel, and yeah, treating other people the way I want to be treated. So in this bag here are some crystals and some stones that I was given. This is a tumbled rose quartz. They're a great tool to work with. This is, oh, you know what? Let me put those glasses on so I can see. It was one thing I thought it was, and now I'm not so sure. I'm gonna And these are only good for reading glasses. I really want to get aviators. I want to get what President Biden wears. Okay. This looks like it may be. Um, See, first I thought this was. Um, no, not snowflake obsidian. Um, One of these I thought was amethyst. Yeah, this one here is definitely amethyst. But this thing here doesn't have purple in it, it has gray in it. So I'm thinking, well, first I was thinking obsidian, but you know what? I see a tiny little bit of purple in this, very muted. Unless it would be possible to have amethyst in something that also had obsidian in it. I don't know. Here, I'm going to put the amethyst side by side with the, I'm guessing, obsidian with a tiny bit of purple. And a tiny bit of purple is right here. Get these glasses off. I don't think they're very complimentary. Uh, yeah, you know what? Between people getting me to hug them when I don't even want to be hugged, by strangers, that guy had such creepy energy. Oh, and I found out by that guy that was looking after me, that guy has a white girlfriend. Not there's anything wrong with that, but he beats her up. That guy saw his girlfriend all black and blue. He's physically abusive. He's manipulative. And you got to be really pretty sharp and mentally smart to be able to still do that when you're drunk. But yeah, I fucking would not take no for an answer. How do you get somebody to leave you alone and go away when they won't take no for your answer? I couldn't think of any other way to get rid of them. And now I really feel all dirty as a result because I didn't wear anything over top of this. I had my bare arms and I actually, oh, this is gross. You know, don't anybody try to coerce anybody in anything. Don't bug people to do things. It's really, and again, I don't feel like going looking for that mask anymore, okay? And the one that I know of is dirty. I'm not going to put something that's dirty on my face, okay? Some people don't hear the word no too well. So, okay, give me a second while I go and put some of this chicken on a tray because I really want to eat a little something. And after that, I want to show you my roaches. And oh, and did you ever see the wrench that I used to take my bridge pins off? I got it on wish.com. But the last time I needed to change the string, I couldn't find this thing. It's nice, got nice little weight to it. All right, I'm gonna be back. I want to put this in the toaster oven. And hopefully you won't get treated and do a bunch of crap. All right, I'm back. You know what? I'm going to turn the fan on, but the lowest setting. All right, I put the chicken in. Oh, I don't think you guys ever saw this. This is a pancake churner shaped like a bat. I got this as part of a prize package when I won a Halloween contest at a Gothic club. And I've never used it. I almost did the other day when I was making hamburgers. I got a fair amount of frozen hamburger meat, uh, and it's a real treat. You know, ground beef is so expensive, but when ShopRite's meat is ready to expire, they actually donate it to food banks, and food banks uh, they distribute it different places. And anyway, that's how we got the hamburger. Oh, and you know what? On the subject of food, I want to show you what I recently came into a nice amount of. And you guys might laugh at this. I got a case and a half of ramen noodles. You know, I remember when ramen noodles were as cheap as like 13 for $1. You can get them sometimes. And I never got tired of ramen noodles because you can do so much with these. In LA, I remember I would take a package of ramen noodles and I would put a bunch of leftovers with it. Just, you know, any odds and ends you had in the fridge. And my punk rocker friends would show up who were squatting on rooftops and whatever. And a lot of them were vegan. So obviously you had to watch what you gave them. And I would give them all kinds of vegetable scraps and stuff and put them in ramen noodles. I would do that, make fried rice too. And one of the biggest compliments I ever got about my cooking was a punk rocker said to me, "Hey, Leather, you're such a good cook. You can even make shit taste good." So, you know, okay, let's face it, a lot of the people I know are rather coarse in how they comport themselves, but, you know, be who you are. If you're around me, just be yourself. Unless the yourself is a manipulative, conniving asshole, in which case, I mean, but don't hide that until people decide they really like you and then show it. Just try to be real early on. Because one of the things I hate about in relationships, you know, if it's just a casual friendship, guys and girls don't seem to do this. But if it's within the context of a relationship, people will not show, they'll be on the good behavior for long enough in the beginning so that you don't expect that they're going to be screw ups. And then they will end up behaving really badly. And it's like, I wish I could have seen a few red flags early on so I would have known not to bother wasting time pursuing things. But people don't reveal their assholiness at first. And that's one of the things that I wish would change. Either I wish that would change or I wish I would have a better sixth sense, you know. And I'm concerned because I really don't like it that people are judged by the company we keep. I'm meeting so many new people lately, and if it was just random new people on the boardwalk that were in my audience, that would be one thing. But I mean, occasionally I do meet people and get business cards and things, but um, and I enjoyed the conversations I had on the boardwalk today. But sometimes I find that I am meeting people in walks of life that I never thought that I would know personally. And finding out that I can be objective and not pass judgment, even though for years I would have thought I would use their line of work as a euphemism for all manner of sin and depravity that a young person not yet graduating high school would have imagined. But when you become a familiar face and you become a friendly face, it's interesting how you have relationships with all kinds of people. And so you find out that I never would have known that I would know people in this line of work or who do this or this religion or whatever. And there's so many fill in the boxes that are really different. And so long as the more negative things don't rub off on me, that's the only thing I'd be concerned about. I would like to think that I'm strong enough as a person to not be tempted by certain things that people are doing now. Especially since so many people now are having drinking problems and things, that demons that I already exercised out, that at least I know doesn't tempt me any. It just kind of makes me sad because I think it might be a very common thing that when a person has realized they needed to quit something, so they did, they often think, well, I got to such and such an age and realized some cause and effect relationships between some things I was doing. And I realized I really wasn't having a fun time. And I realized that I really wasn't getting much accomplished. So maybe learning is that you think we're smarting, we think we're being smart when we're multitasking, but really we're not getting very much accomplished, as often I find happens in my case. So I'm trying to learn to be more mindful, and I'm trying to learn to know myself better. Self awareness is a very attractive quality, and I think it shows a higher evolution. And it's one of the many things I'm working on for myself. So, yeah, I hate it when I look like I'm brain dead in a video and stuff. And maybe that's because I have sleep deprivation, or I don't know. Because a lot of these videos, I don't have uh, special vision that I can have an idea what's going on. That would make things, that would save time, certainly. Yeah, I got like a case and a half of these. Most of these or half of these I have in those metal tins. Some of it I have wrapped in additional plastic and in another one of those cloth disposable, or not disposable cloth. They're like recycled materials, tote bags that are so ubiquitous that everybody seems to gather around and have. uh, you're expected to have a bag when you go shopping with very few restrictions around here. And that is not an easy uh, thing for most people to get adjusted to. Okay, I'm going to put this back in the tin. Then I want to put another cat thing away. I want to get more use out of this canister. This thing here has my a stuffed cat in it, and it has a stuffed walrus. And there's more space in there. I want to put more stuffed animals. You know what? I think I'm going to put Tabby Boy's baby in. All right, where's baby? Baby is right. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I put foster cat in it. Anything else? No, I'd like to find the dish that this goes to. All right, this is Tabby Boy's baby. I showed you before. This is something else that I want to keep clean and that would fit in this container. Yeah, right. Right. All right. This, choo choo. Claire's. Oh, there's something else I wanted to show you. It was something I got from wish.com. And this is one of those occasions where I'm actually questioning the quality of something I got. Uh, here are, yeah, bunch of guitar strings I have. Now, now you're probably thinking, if she has all these strings, why is she going around playing a 5-string guitar? Well, there's a set that instead of lettering them, they number them. It's the fourth, the sixth, the first, and the fifth. The G string would be the fourth, or no, one, two, three. Because a higher note is considered the first, second, third. I don't have a third string. I got fourth, I got sixth, I got first, I got fifth. And look at these. These are the gold, not real gold, but gold, they call them gold wound strings. Okay, but I only have one of each, but only 5 out of 6. Makes no sense. Now, here is a set of gold strings. It's just all wrapped together. I'm going to have to look at a color coded system to figure out which string is which. And most of these kind of strings, they do have a color coding on there, but whether or not the color thing, oh, it says made in China. And anyway, yeah, this is going to be interesting string. Then there's this set that's more of a coppery bronze color. Just again, instead of 6, I'm guessing it's 6. Now this is a rainbow set. This is where every color is different, but it's not a true rainbow. So, but still, I don't have a single string. All of these strings I have are sets, and I just don't want to break up a set. So that's why I am continuing to play that guitar. I mean, it doesn't sound good, obviously, but it doesn't sound bad either. So I keep on hoping one of my buddies will show up and actually replace that string for me. Considering I know so many people have been promising me strings. I just can't see, if I keep on buying new strings, I'm paying way more for strings than I need to. But I don't know that I want to make the financial investment right now of getting 6 strings, 6 sets of strings, so that if one breaks, I will have repeats for at least a couple of years before I have to start buying strings. And yeah, trying to think, there's got to be something else that I wanted to throw out there. I guess I'm going to have to talk to this thing called One Radio or something. I don't know. All right. I'm starting to get a little tired, and I realize what I said didn't make any sense. That One Radio, that is called being delirious because you are a little bit tired. I'm sure I'm dehydrated. Oh yeah, I want to put this in this container also. It will be cushioned by all those soft things. The exterminator is coming sometime tomorrow. That's going to be fun. I'm not going to be able to go out and play until after we're through with him. Oh, let me turn this down so this stuff doesn't blow away. I'm about to show you. Uh, I picked up a couple roaches out front, and oh, and this is what's some really, it's not bad weed, but it's not attractive weed. Um, all right. Okay, this uh looks like it might just be empty paper. I hate it when this happens. Deep blunt wrapper. I'm gonna throw this right out the window. fucking doing? Go. You're fucking up our air. Just go. We know you're messing up our air. We don't have air conditioning and we have to have our windows open. Please don't gun your engine while you're hanging out here. This is what I don't like about living in neighborhoods like this. You get people who are running their engines. He's sitting in the middle of the fucking street. He's in the middle of the fucking street. Dude, get out of the middle of the fucking street. You're running your engine. Fucking idiots. I hate these people. Now I have to close the window behind me. Oh, yeah, it is closed. Good. These people, I mean, they're so fucking annoying. And this is why we don't have good air anymore. We've got people that are inconsiderate. They will have their windows closed so that they have their air conditioning and they're just running their engine. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. And it's because there's nobody behind them that's trying to get a move on. And there's nobody even sitting out there dealing drugs or anything. It's like, I don't know what they're fucking doing. And he's just running the engine. And, and this was empty. This didn't have anything in it. Son of a bitch. All right, so that had nothing. All I have is this little bit of crappy looking. All right, well, I'm going to go get my chicken. I don't know what the fuck. All right, this is life in the ghetto, you guys. All right, I will talk to you soon. Oh, and I guess I'm going to watch my DVR of the debate and see how that is. I'll probably fall asleep through it though. Good. Go. Goodbye. Yay. Yay. Got the fuck out of the way. I'm telling you, these people. And I can't keep my mouth shut because there's a lot of fuck nuts around here, okay? I'm heating some coffee too. But that's a shame. None of those roaches had anything. This is just empty fucking paper. There's no weed in this. And I don't think there's anybody across the street. Or maybe there's, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, it's hard to see in the dark anyway. And I don't know if I'm going to be up at daybreak monitoring to see if there's anybody that it's isolated. And then I can go look for roaches. You know, at least when you find roaches here, even though they're usually in blunt wrapper, it's really good quality and it's resonated and stuff. So, all right. But I will, maybe I'll talk to you after the pest control because I have a feeling I'm going to be doing a whole lot of cleaning here just to try to have so that he can have easier access. But the thing is, I'm still looking for that memory chip from that little crappy tablet. It just had a little 32 gigabyte chip in it, and half of it was used up by those stupid apps that it was loaded with. But I really want to find that, and I hope it hasn't already attached to a piece of trash that I threw out. But that has some pictures of some of my friends out here and some pictures of my hair and the cornrow braids and stuff. And I really love the look with the braids. So I really want to find that memory card. And certainly when he's here spraying and setting bombs off or doing whatever, I mean, he has to do some real work in this building, you know. And I don't know what time of day he's gonna. I hope it's not a morning thing. Oh God, it is right now, 4:46 a.m. After I eat that chicken, I really want to take a shower. That creepy guy hugged me. I don't want any of his skin cells or body hairs on me. That's just so gross. You know, that's another reason why I see. I can never do this in the sun. I can never expose. This is the most dangerous skin for me to expose in the sun. And I didn't go out till like 8 something today, you know, because, you know, sometimes it's hard to motivate yourself out the door when you got things to do around the house. And I wanted to have decent food in my belly and, you know, so yeah, maybe I'll talk to you tomorrow afternoon or something. Bye.